So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to FPL Bros. It's Frank Lampard here. And I'd just like to set the record straight. Me and James, we are an item. He just completes me, you know. We fit together like two pieces of a puzzle.
Let me get something straight first, yeah.
And I just want to say, James, you're the only person who truly, really understands me. What's for tea tonight, babes?
Listen, yeah, I need to get this straight. Yeah, I know Codger's been getting on to me a lot about Frank Lampard and Chelsea, but it's not that deep, man.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
On the real, this week, yeah, it's changed. It's changed. Right now, the team to watch is Leicester. It's not
All right.
Chelsea anymore.
Okay.
So,
all right then.
I mean, Brendan Rodgers. And Brendan Rodgers has provided some good days. He hasn't given us any trophies, not like Klopp, but he's provided some good days. And I honestly believe that third or fourth position, Leicester are in the fight for that.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
we'll
James,
wait until the end of the season and we'll see if you're correct.
I kind of understand where you're coming from. Leicester are looking really good, especially defensively. However, from that performance against the 10-man Newcastle, I wouldn't be too gassed. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm not
10-man
talking
Newcastle.
You're 100% right, but I'm not basically only going off that performance. What I'm trying to show you is that, like, when Leicester actually won the league that time, it was about momentum. Once they get one game, they get another one and another one. When the momentum starts going, Leicester are a team to be worried about. Do you know what I mean? And Brendan Rodgers, he can manage a team. Like, he knows how to get a team go. We've seen it. We've seen it with this guy. This guy's a winner.
We have seen it. It's true, but you can't keep expecting the same thing to happen every single time. Leicester had plenty of momentum under Claudio Ranieri, and what happened to him?
Yeah.
They had plenty of momentum under Shakespeare. What happened to him? Yeah, and when the momentum ran out with Brendan Rodgers, Liverpool didn't waste any time kicking him to the curb, did they?
Well, that's a bit harsh, kicking him to the curb.
Oh, yeah, I would agree. He had to go. And he had to go.
Get into it, yeah. I'm afraid that there's no hiding from the scores, right? And I'm not hiding in particular because I had another dismal showing as usual. Okay, so James, I think you did the best out of all of us, didn't you?
Yeah, but my captain was Tammy Abraham, so I think that just kind of says it all if you think about it. I did all right.
Yeah.
How many points did you get?
I think I've got about 60, didn't I?
Decent.
Probably, yeah, because I think Aubameyang. Yeah, for those of you listening, we're recording just after Man United Arsenal. 1-1 draw, goal for Aubameyang, a goal from McTominay, which I thought was incredibly jammy.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good goal. I thought he done what he's supposed to do. I actually respected that, what he did.
No, like, first of all, it took a little bit of a nick. Second of all, if that guy hadn't have ducked. And third of all, I think it hit the underside of the bar as well. He can try that 100 times and he only score once. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
that's true.
He's no Ruben Neves.
Yeah, exactly.
But his confidence is building and growing. Like, you can see it when he's playing. One thing I want to confirm, I got 58 points. I lost 2 because I had Aurier in my team.
Yeah, well, I lost 4 because I was trying to fit Abraham in my team, and I'm getting itchy about Pepe.
Yeah,
Derek, how did you do?
I think you should get rid of him.
Derek, I got 51 points, but I had, once again, like James, Aurier in my team. However, I set my team up. I played my wild card, and I set my team up for the few upcoming games. So I'm playing the long game.
Well, that's how it's going to be. Yeah, I'd like to think I'm playing the long game as well, and I'm not going to panic because I've had weeks in this game, where one week I made all my transfers, I got 40 points, and then the following week the exact same team netted me 91 points. So. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah,
you've got to plan these things. You've got to target the fixtures. Yeah. Anyway, so what were you saying before, James, about Leicester?
Before I say that, I want to point out one big mistake I made. I left Milivojevic on my bench.
Okay.
Who did Palace play?
He scored a penalty. He got 10 points. So I missed that one.
Palace played Norwich, a
10.
team that does not keep clean sheets.
Yeah, that was a big mistake there.
Wait, I know. Who did you play instead of Milivojevic?
Gendouzi.
He played Gendouzi against United.
So
let me
get this straight. You played a defensive midfielder who doesn't ever score away to Manchester United, where Arsenal haven't won in like 7 or 8 games, against Crystal Palace at home to a team that concedes all the time.
And a designated penalty taker. And set
piece. Yeah. As piece taker. He's guaranteed to play 90 minutes.
And as well, Gendouzi's been getting a few assists, so I thought maybe...
No, James. A few assists is not going to cut it. Okay, we're talking about 38 games here, not 2 or 3. Anyway, listen, Leicester, I'm going to get us back on track.
Yeah.
James, it looks like you're about to cheat on Frank with Brendan here. What's going on?
Well, Brendan's my guy. Brendan, we had experiences, man. That time, back in the day, where he almost won the title. Almost, is that almost as still going to get us cusses from Man United fans. So,
okay. But fair enough. It's true. We've been saying for a while that Leicester are looking like they're clicking.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jamie Vardy, I read somewhere that in the 17 games that Brendan's been in charge, he's managed 14 goals.
Wow.
And okay, I have a confession to make. When he first got signed up as manager for Leicester, at first I thought it was quite funny because I always remember Brendan Rodgers is liking to play a passing game and attractive passing football, which Claude Puel was trying to introduce to Leicester. But then I heard that the reason the Leicester players wanted to get rid of him is because they wanted to play counter-attacking football, which they're used to, and they felt played to their strengths, and that's what they played when they won the title. And Claude Puel was like, no counter-attacking football here. We're keeping the ball, we're passing the ball. So I thought, well, Brendan Rodgers, he's known for keeping the ball and passing the ball. Is that really going to suit them? But having listened to Brendan Rodgers recently, I've got to hand it to the guy. He said he was prepared to change his approach. Well, not change his approach. He's got tactical flexibility, and he realised that in order to get the best out of Vardy, he does best when they counter-attack. But he also says he expects the team to keep the ball when they need to keep it. So he's mixing it up. He's got Leicester playing the passing game, and he's got them playing the counter-attacking game when they need Vardy to score. And even though it's early days, he might have got it right.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Brendan has completely changed his way of managing teams to suit the strengths of Leicester. The fullbacks are absolutely killing it. I don't mean to be a fanboy here, but he's kind of playing a bit like Klopp in terms of getting Ricardo and Cresswell up the pitch.
Yeah.
Feeding the ball to Vardy, who's got the pace of, Salah or Mane, and just literally ripping teams apart. They're just killing them. That game that they played, they should have scored way more goals than they did.
That's true. Yeah, but I mean, Vardy, not an easy counter-attacking king, but his pressing is up there with the best of them. Yeah, and sometimes it's painful to see goalkeepers panicking when they've got Vardy bearing down on him. But again, we're talking about a guy who's probably going to get double figures in terms of goals, and he's only 9.5 million, something like that.
Yeah, Vardy's good money. After the Liverpool fixture, I think he's one worth looking at.
That's true. And for people like me who's getting itchy feet over their expensive midfield, I have to... Look, I got Pepe in for a reason. I targeted Arsenal fixtures, and I'm still holding firm. I mean, it would have been nice if he got something against Man United, but at the same time, it's still in many ways a tough fixture, so I don't feel too bad about that.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Anyway, Carabao Cup, people. I know it was a while ago since those fixtures were played, but again, what do you think we learned from that? A lot of youngsters getting run-outs, a lot of second-string teams being played, and a few surprises along the way.
I think Saka, Arsenal Saka, he was a big revelation in the Carabao Cup. If you noticed after that, actually, was it the Carabao Cup or was it was in the Europa League where it's big revelation. So if you notice, since that, he's actually been promoted into the first team and he's been a replacement for Lacazette while he's been out. So that's been one of the biggest revelations for me. I don't really think there's too many revelations. I think a lot of the youngsters that were played in these games are not going to be in the first team. They're just to play those kind of games.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, generally speaking, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect a few cricket scores, and Chelsea did what was expected of them in that respect. Whereas other teams, they really huffed and puffed. So Chelsea managed 7 goals, whereas Man United huffed and puffed, didn't they?
They scraped that penalty through, didn't they?
Greenwood, right?
Yeah, the boy Greenwood. And again, they could have started him in this game against Arsenal because, again, I think we mentioned it last week, Rashford, sometimes he just flatters to deceive. And if Mason Greenwood is scoring goals, why not give it a go? Everybody's all about the youth now. Well, I say everybody. Anybody who's not Liverpool and Man City is about the youth, basically, because they don't know what else to do. But,
I want to correct something, Liverpool, people talk about youth and that. Alexander-Arnold is a first-team player for Liverpool.
Right.
And he's young.
Yeah.
So Liverpool are about the youth. And he's from the youth team.
No. Please. Oh, my brother, I'm begging you. We're talking about one person, yeah? One person. And for a long time, he got rotated with Gomez. And I think I mentioned this to you before. Klopp, I don't know if he's still thinking this, but Klopp actually sees long-term Alexander-Arnold in midfield. And long-term, he sees Gomez as the right back. I mean, he might be changing his mind about that now because Alexander-Arnold's starting to become more disciplined defensively.
Yeah, I don't think he sees him as midfield. I actually honestly think that he sees Alexander-Arnold as...
He actually said that. It's not a case of what you think. He said that. Okay, granted, he said it about half a season ago and he might have changed his mind, but,
So you think he's going to play Trent Alexander-Arnold like a Jadon Sancho kind of player?
Well, I mean, the thing is, he's so good offensively, I don't see why not. I mean, Gareth Bale started out as a left-back.
Yeah, he did. But the thing is, I don't know. Alexander-Arnold, I just don't see him like that. I just see him as a good fullback. Just like Robertson's a good fullback. Do you know what I mean? He runs back, he does the job that he needs to do. Do you know what I mean? And he's crossing. I think Robertson's crossing is the best in Liverpool's team. He's got the best crossing in Liverpool's team.
I wouldn't go there. I think Trent has got better crossing than Robertson, but Robertson puts the shift in, and that's the main difference between Trent and Robertson. Robertson is a machine. He can run, he come back and win the ball, whereas Trent is a bit more of an attacking wing back.
I think Trent's more intelligent. He does things when they're unexpected. He's very, very crafty. He's a crafty guy. But Robertson, watch his crosses the next time you watch a game. Like every single cross he does, a lot of times his crosses are so dangerous. They're always into a danger area. And you see the defenders are always panicking. But anyway, enough about Liverpool, man.
Well, exactly. Because, really, I'm going... You too. Anyway, Mr. Harry Kane. Again, I may have to start eating my words here a little bit. Obviously, he scored against Southampton. Derek rightly pointed out that they were never going to keep a clean sheet at that game and they were just there for the taking, basically. And the fact that Spurs managed it with 10 men just goes to show how unreliable Southampton are defensively.
Yeah. One thing I want to point out as well, I want to point out 2 things from that game.
Right.
First thing to point out is a difference between a top keeper and a keeper that's just average or bang average. So, like, when Lloris, the real
start talking about Alisson here, I'm going to come over and give you a slap. Can you just leave Liverpool out of this? Because I can feel you about to talk about Alisson. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Good. Carry on.
Yeah, when Lloris made a mistake, if you noticed, after that, he made 2 terrific saves. He made some terrific saves. So that's what makes him a top keeper. After a mistake, he's still able to keep his head together and keep it moving. And one other thing I've noticed about Harry Kane as well, Harry Kane has actually stopped celebrating. When he scores a goal, he just gets the energy out and he just slaps his teammates' hands and says, come, let's go, get another one. So I think Harry Kane is really focused.
What are you talking about? Listen, Harry Kane never had that much of a celebration. Basically, his celebration was a fist pump by his hit, and that was it. He'd do a little...
Harry Kane
No. He does a little lead, just does a little fist pump like he's giving somebody a sly punch in the groin, and that was his celebration. And he still, correct me if I'm wrong, but he did that at the weekend.
Yeah, that is the classic Kane celebration.
But there's a different focus in him. There's a very different focus in him at this moment in time. So I do predict he's going to score. Like right now, his form's just kicked in. I think right now, like, if people want to get him in their team, is a smart time to do that.
Okay, let's say he's going to keep kicking over. But what we liked about Harry Kane in the past is that explosiveness. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Derek, you tell him we need that 2 goals, that 3 goals from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to settle for 6 or 7 points because you're spending 11 million on the guy.
Yeah. Honestly,
And
it's true.
yeah. And
Yeah,
you're going to get 1
consistency-
goal a game
consistency-
from Callum Wilson.
consistency.
You're going to get 1 goal a game from Tammy Abraham. And they cost a heck of a lot less than Kane does.
Yeah, that's true. But
I
same
mean,
way,
you could not fit Kane into your team right now unless you took Aubameyang out. Are you about to do that?
No way. No way. No way. If I did 2, I might be able to. If I did 2, because Ronaldo, is a dangerous person I had in my like. You won't usually get me any points, but this week I'm lucky. I got very lucky.
Genie, I can't believe you had Genie in your team. You brave man.
Very brave. Very brave. But you admitted at the time he was just there to save money. Okay, so I think you've got your value out of him now, personally. I've been looking at his stats. Yeah, it was like 3 goals last season. The season before that, 6. So, anyway. So we've done Kane. I'm not about to eat my words on him just yet. I admit that he will tick over with points, and I've not had many from my forwards. Having said that, for 11 million, you do expect a bit more.
100%.
All right, so shall we go on to one Mr. Serge Aurier?
Oh, what a clown. Clown. Why is he so undisciplined? Like,
what I'm gonna say, when I saw that he was sent off, because I wasn't watching the game, I saw the highlights afterwards on match of the day. He was sent off. I was like, Aurier being Aurier, why the hell did I buy this guy? I thought it was crazy. But then I look back in it, and that second yellow, I don't really think that was a yellow. I think the referee...
Yellow. Okay, look, you're thinking along the right lines, James, but what I will say in mitigation is this. Apparently, just before he committed that foul, everyone at Spurs thought the ball had gone out, so they stopped playing. Now, you can talk about play to the whistle or not, but the fact is, professional footballers, they're using so much energy all the time that will take any opportunity they can to stop running and walk, and that's usually when they think whistle's about to get blown. So they all thought the whistle was about to get blown. They all switched off. Southampton carried on playing, and then Serge lost his man. So he had no choice but to commit a professional foul. And a lot of Spurs fans I know are blaming the referee for that. And I think Poch blamed the referee for that. So I'm going to say, the thing about Serge, right, is like, I think he's one of those committed tacklers. And you can guarantee that he's probably going to rake in double figures for the yellow cards in the season. But like we said before, he gets forward well. He likes to have a crack, and he's got a decent shot on him as well. And I remember fondly, I had Serge, I think I picked him for like a double game week or something last season, and he bagged me like 10 points, because Spurs were playing well at that time, and I knew he liked to get forward and get me attacking returns. So he's still got that in him, and for, is it 5 million?
4.9 maybe now.
Oh dear.
But yeah, Serge was... I was fuming because I've just wildcarded and brought him in. But you know what? It's only one game, and I don't mind keeping him in my team and seeing if Poch gives him another chance when he's back, because they'll have an easy fixture at that point as well. So it's worth holding on to him if you do have him.
Yes. Yeah. So definitely. I mean, people get mad, but they could have easily gone the other way. There's plenty of decent players who used to get yellow cards all the time. And people are beefing so much over Serge. There's so many, don't want to call him a dirty player, but there's plenty of players who foul all the time, get yellow cards all the time, and people are really happy to have them. Diego Costa used to get yellow cards all the time.
Yeah.
Like, people were happy to have, they were happy to have him in this team. So, like, I think Diego
Costa, how many goals a game? How many goals a season would Diego Costa get you? Definitely nearing 20 minimum. Yeah. That guy,
he was all right.
He will get you goals. He will get you goals. This was a terrific player, as much as he got yellows and that stuff. But it's almost like Suarez. Suarez might bite a player. He might do all kinds of crazy stuff.
He didn't bite players for fun. God.
Yeah, either way, you knew he was talking in players' ears. Like, I don't want to go.
Sorry.
Well, modern footballers, and they're like that. They're always saying stuff to each other to put them off the game. And once you get under your opponent's skin, you've won that. I listened to Peter Crouch, and he was talking about the time that he was playing against Fulham and he was up against John Pencil. And apparently he said something to John Pencil, and John Pencil just lost it, and I think he got a yellow card trying to bring down Peter Crouch. I don't really want to think about what he said to John Pencil, to be honest with you, because, well, all he had to do was say that one thing, and he knew he had Pencil in his pocket, and that was the end of it for that guy. Do you remember John Pencil? Or was that just me?
Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Of course I remember him. I heard a lot of stories about him when I went to Ghana the last time, but that's another day. Yeah, it's for another day.
Okay. I'll tell you who was really up to no good. Al Muntari.
Oh, yeah. Sully Ali.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't have any stories about him. I just heard the rumours that everybody else heard. But anyway...
About to witness a monumental throwdown.
Guys, can I just quickly mention, because we really ever touched this topic, I just want to throw it out there, a bit of a curveball. I know we mentioned Lloris, but keepers, is it just going to be Pope? Because he looks to be the popular one at the moment. But is anyone else eyeing up any other keepers apart from Pope?
So I substituted Pope last week and I put Patricio in because I noticed Patricio kept on getting me more points than Pope was getting me. And
smart.
He got me 9 points this week.
Yeah.
Pope got about 2 or something. So I realised that, Pope's good, but, you got to mix it up a bit. I'm going to have to substitute Patricio for Pope next week because Pope's playing against Everton. Patricio's playing against Man City away. So there's no point in keeping Patricio and going for Man City away.
Patricio is such a good shout, and he's who I had in mind, James, when I brought this up, because he's making a lot of saves. He always makes a lot of saves anyway. The fixtures that Wolves have coming up, very good fixtures.
Really?
So, yeah, I just think it's definitely one to kind of keep your eye on.
Okay, well, yeah, it may be one to keep your eye on. And one thing I will say about Patricio, I haven't checked the stats for this season, but apparently last season, what Wolves were doing is that even though they let teams take a lot of shots, they were very good at restricting teams from shots outside of the box. And if a team takes lots of shots from outside of the box, your keeper's more likely to save it. So your keeper's more likely to get save points. So if Wolves can carry on doing that, like they did last season, and restrict their opponents to long-range shots that Patricia's going to keep saving, you might get the occasional clean sheets, but he's going to rack up the save points. Is that what you want from your keeper?
That's right.
Having said that, I can see Pope keeping more clean sheets than Patricio, purely because Wolves have made such a shocking start to the season compared to how they were last season. And I don't know how long it's going to take them to resemble the team that we saw last season.
Yeah.
Anyway, how much is Patricio? Is he also 4.5 or is he 5? Because Pope is only 4.5, isn't he? Yeah, Pope's only 4.5.
Right now it's 5.1. Patricio is 5.1.
Oh, I'm sticking with Pope. Right? Oh, no, that's the decision's been made for me. If I'm going to spend 5 mil on a keeper, then I expect clean sheets, frankly.
Yeah. The thing is, I got both of them quite early on in the season, so I'm okay.
But that's 9.5 million you've spent on your goalkeepers. I've only spent 8.5 on mine.
5 million at the start of the season.
No, Pope was 4.5 and Patricio was 5 million at the start of the season. So you spent 9.5 million on your goalkeepers. I spent only 8.5. So I've got a million extra to play with. I've got a million extra to fondle, James.
My team's still straight, so I'm good.
It's true. But 1 week you might find you need that extra mil, my friend.
And I'll substitute I'll just transfer one of my keepers.
That's a waste of a transfer.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, I still got my wild card yet to play, so... You know what I mean?
Very true. I'll give you that. Actually, one thing I do want to say about Wolves, I noticed that Doherty got on the score sheet this week, and I don't know if you remember what he was like last season, but he was a legend for me.
Yeah, I remember. I was fuming I didn't have him.
Yeah. And see, this is the thing. I thought they priced him a bit too high, but apparently in that game, him and Traore were both playing down the right. And apparently they tore it up. Yeah. And I've forgotten the name of the Wolves manager now. What is he called?
I've forgotten his name as well.
The guy from Breaking Bad.
It's No, it's not Dos Santos. Is it Santos? Maria, Raul, Julia? No. Anyway, if he keeps playing,
Is Nuno Espirito Santos.
That's it. Espirito Santos. If he keeps playing Doherty and Traore down the right, and yeah, actually, that was the thing I wanted to say. About halfway through last season, he switched from a 3-4-3 to a 3-5-2, and that's when Jota started scoring all those goals. But I've noted he's gone back to 3-4-3. In the 3-4-3, I think allows Doherty to get into the game a lot more. So if he sticks with the 3-4-3 and he sticks with Traore and Doherty, I predict that Wolves, at least Doherty, is going to start being, his value. He's going to start you're sort of going to get set some points for your money with Doherty, I think.
Yeah. I still believe that your usual Ruben Neves and Jota, they're going to rack up a lot of points this season, especially when they're playing against the lower teams. Obviously, Wolves aren't what they were last season. I don't think Wolves aren't what they were last season. I just think that the other teams have got better. That's my personal opinion. And I don't feel like Wolves have improved that much since last season. So we're just kind of seeing that. I feel like that space is being filled in by Leicester. Also, Everton. I think Everton, even though they're not doing too well this season, I think that they have a gear to go up. I think people need to pay attention to them. I think that they will probably have a string of games, a run of games where they do well. And I've noticed that they've had spells in games where they've dominated for about a good 10 minutes or so. And if they manage to be consistent with that, they will give a good challenge to certain teams. So Everton are one to watch. I don't see them finishing below the top side of the table. I don't see them going below 10th or anything like that.
True. Yeah. I will say that I think the game against Sheffield was a bit of an outlier because Sheffield only had 2 shots and they scored 2 goals. And Everton had plenty of opportunities to score and even win that game and they didn't take them. They also managed 8 shots against Man City, and didn't they say on Match of the Day that is the most shots on targets that Man City have allowed for the past 4 years?
Really?
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yes, you said that.
That's exactly. So basically, Everton are doing all the right things apart from finishing, basically. So once they can get their finishing sorted out, they will be the team that everybody expects them to be. It is a shame that they're not doing as well defensively as they did toward the end of last season, but you can't have everything.
I don't think Calvert-Lewin's the guy.
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
The goals he gets seem to be quite lucky and stolen. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You thought he would have kicked on from the Carabao Cup. But yeah, you're right. The goal he scored against City was not anything special, was it? And everybody thought it was Coleman's goal. And, he just kind of made sure. All right, then.
Once Moise Kean gets a string of games, it's a wrap for Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but still holding out. Okay, Derek, did you want to say something about Chelsea?
I just wanted to say Chelsea have really, really started to click together now. And they look so dangerous under Frank. It's ridiculous, honestly. The chances they get, the players they've just got a really strong team. And I'm not, trying to steal James's wife, but he's doing a good job. He's doing a brilliant job.
Just let him.
Many managers come and have the same season that Frank has had. He started off quite, shaky, and they didn't have the results they deserved. But now things are really starting to click for the team, and you can really see the players who are a threat, like Mount, Abraham. It's a shame they didn't have Kante in the last game because he was really effective. But with a full squad, I think Chelsea's one to kind of be wary of, I'd say.
Yeah, and I just want to say this about Kante. I remember last season everybody was moaning about Sarri playing him a bit further up the pitch, right? And fair enough, maybe it didn't work, although they still won a European trophy. So it's not like Sarri didn't know what he was doing. But the thing I want to say about Kante is that he's just a great footballer, full stop. Yeah. Okay, he does well in defensive midfield, but I think he does well wherever you play him, because he's a footballer. And he showed that with the goal that he scored against Liverpool. He could just play football. Yeah, and he just does it all. And, maybe we should be expecting all our footballers to run like Kante does, but we know that they're not going to. And obviously, Sarri realised that he was a good footballer and say, okay, I can make a lot of use playing him this way, off the shoulder of the last defender, and then Jorginho, or in fact, it was David Luiz who used to do these 3 balls over the top that Kante would run onto. And he actually scored a couple of goals that way, and he had a lot of chances that way as well. So I don't blame Sarri for playing Kante in a different position. I mean, the thing is, people get really worked up about the whole defensive midfield position in this country. And as far as they're concerned, if you don't have one, it means your back four doesn't have any protection. But if you ask me, defenders are supposed to defend, right? What's the point in having defenders if you need an extra player to protect them? No, if you've got a football team and people are playing football, everybody needs to do their job, okay? Yeah. And you shouldn't worry too much about people being a defensive midfielder or a defender or playing wherever. If you're a good footballer and you can play football and you do your job, everything will work out fine.
I have to say I disagree with that. Okay. The defensive midfielders is probably one of my best positions on the pitch. I think it's so important. Reason being because it confuses the other team. It allows the centre-backs to be a bit more versatile. Instead of just staying in the same place, they can move a bit more forward. Plus, it also allows the full-backs to go forward, and it turns back two into a back three. So it turns out there's three centre-backs when they go back.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, if you're playing football, okay, you don't have to worry too much about what's happening in the back if you're going forward. What you're talking about is teams having a fear of getting hit on the counter-attack.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, you can talk about defensive midfielders generally, but again, midfielders are expected to do a lot more than defenders and a lot more than attackers because they have to do it all, okay? If you're a good footballer, you do it all. But, I mean, I think that people are just a bit narrow-minded when they talk about football and positions and tactics in this country, and they always have to have this, and they always have to have a defensive midfielder. I mean, some teams can't even make up their mind whether they want to have one or two. Do you have two people sitting back or one? And I hear what you say about defensive midfielders dropping back to allow the centre-backs to be a bit more mobile and the full-backs to bomb forward. But the thing is, that is also predictable, James. And we see that all the time as well. When more than one team does things, 2 or 3 teams do it, 5 teams do it, then we all know what to expect. So the answer is always just to have good footballers. Just to have good footballers.
Different ways. So the different ways that, like, say, for example, with Chelsea, they will have 2 defensive midfielders. One person, their purpose is to rock back and help out the defenders. And the other person, their purpose is to deliver the ball from the back to the front. So they get it and they can just do a good pass and ping it straight forward and make things a bit more positive. So that would be someone like Jorginho, Luckily, Liverpool have Fabinho who does both. There's other defensive midfielders that can do all kinds of jobs. Essien was like...
James, can you name someone from Liverpool who doesn't come back and defend?
Who doesn't come back and defend?
Yeah.
No, I can't name something who doesn't come back.
So then the point which Kojo was making was that in order for teams to play like effectively and the way that Kante plays, he goes up, he can create the chances, but he also can defend very well. And I think his point is very valid in the fact that there's a lot of teams now that...
It's an anomaly. There is no player in the world like Kante. There's none. If you expect a guy to do what Kante does, you're asking for too much. Don't forget, he's won the World Cup. He's won the league with 2 different teams. There's a reason for that, man. There's no one like him.
I completely disagree with you. Fabinho is a box-to-box midfielder.
Fabinho is a lot more economical with his time and his space of where he puts himself. He's smart. He uses his football brain to put himself in the right place to anticipate a situation. Kante, he's just everywhere. He has so much more stamina than Fabinho. He has so much more energy than Fabinho.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. However, in terms of attacking and defending, there are a few players, i.e. Ozil, who does not come back and defend. Yeah. There are a few Arsenal players who just don't bother to run back.
That was at Hazard as well.
Yeah. What goal was it that was scored against? I can't remember. Was it Arsenal when they got outrun and the player just stopped running back? He just kind of gave up and let
one of Spurs who scored that one.
Was it Spurs? I can't remember. But basically, the Arsenal player just stopped running back and just completely gave up. And it's just the mentality, isn't it? That,
Yeah, it's crazy.
They've gone past. It's not my problem anymore. I'll let the defenders do their job. No, you come back, you defend, you help out your team. Because at the end of the day, if they win the ball up front, you should be tracking them back. That's it.
I can't get my head around that mentality. I really can't. Like, I don't know. That does not make sense to me.
About to witness a monumental throwdown.
Anyway, before this ends up sounding like Match of the Day in the 90s, just all Liverpool by ex-Liverpool players. Anything more we want to say about the weekend's action? Who else played worthwhile talking about?
West Ham had a decent game, didn't they?
They did all right. It's true. They did all right. They're killing me with this inability to keep clean sheet. And I just want to know when you can trust them, because sometimes, great that they scored a goal, but it would have been nice, at least conceding just the one, maybe. but I don't know. Is that asking for too much?
Can I say one thing we haven't spoke about, actually? We haven't
Okay.
spoke about today's game.
Okay.
It's not enough. I don't think we spoke about it enough. I feel like
No,
Ashley Young.
You just want to put the boot in, but fine, go right ahead.
Okay, if
No,
you want to
you're
get a good
loving
guy, yeah.
You're loving this.
Person
Okay,
team,
all
I
right
reckon-
then. I won't say anything.
I'm joking. Wow.
I think the game was. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting game I've seen, but both teams did okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think Arsenal will definitely be happier.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
it would.
I think United dropped 2 points. That's what I personally feel like United dropped 2 points.
I think they did.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Rashford
they
was a bit
did.
selfish at some points when he could have passed the ball.
He was.
James had a good game, I think.
Yeah, I thought he was
Did
quite
all right. Yeah.
James, it started to convert me, you know. James he was all right today, you know.
Oh, yeah, I think they expect a lot from him, though.
They
Like,
do.
the commentators were like, "Oh, just give it to James. Just give it to James." And I was like, "I'm not sure that's a solution to your problems, you know." But you give it to James and let me know how that goes. But yeah, he still showed signs. He was decent. I saw a real lack of organisation from Arsenal, and they got away with it a lot of the time. And let's be honest, better teams they have been punished by better teams. We know that. And I think it's just a sign of how far Man United have fallen that they could not punish Arsenal's lack of organisation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true.
Do you think they missed Wan-Bissaka?
No, because I don't think Arsenal were really all that deadly on the left. And if anything, which should have been Man United's right, where Wan-Bissaka plays, if anything, Man United's right, Arsenal left so much space there. I was really surprised that they didn't exploit it more.
Yeah.
Like, they were on that right side of the pitch. On Manchester United's right side of the pitch, which is Arsenal's left, they were all over the place. The lack of organisation that I'm talking about was really apparent there. And I don't know. With Arsenal going forward, I mean, obviously Saka is exciting, and we'll have to see what Emery wants to do there because, again, Emery and his rotation and his tinkering, it's just no good for fantasy football at all. You need nailed-on players, and Emery will not do that for you at all. But, I mean, Saka interests me, definitely. And obviously Aubameyang, I mean, what more can you say about the guy? You know, he's doing his job. That's what he's there to do. Leno had actually a pretty good game.
Yeah. But I've always been a fan of his, you know. He's a decent keeper.
Yeah.
It was just what they needed. And the thing is, they got him under the radar. At the time, he was Germany's third keeper. And Germany, their top two was, I don't even think Ter Stegen was in the team at the time. I think it was Neuer, Trapp, and what's his name? Leno was their third keeper. So it was like, whoa, so who's this Leno guy? And no one paid attention to him. Like, I thought we should sign him. Instead, we signed Karius. And I saw the Arsenal sign him for cheap as well. I thought, wow. When Kepa was being bought for how much? Do you know what I mean? All these teams are spending so much on keepers. And Arsenal bought keepers that's arguably on that level for very cheap. And he's doing a terrific job. I knew as soon as he had a run of games, Czech ain't playing ever again. And look.
Well, I mean, he's better with the ball at his feet than Czech was. And with Emery, he's one of those pass from the back type coaches. It had to happen. Something had to give there.
But he's also a good shot stopper as well. His reactions.
Yeah.
Sharp.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Okay.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Right, we need to get on with predictions. Okay, so where are they? Right, so next week, is it next week? Yes, it is. Yes. Right, the main games, Brighton and Spurs, Liverpool and Leicester, Man City and Wolves, Southampton and Chelsea.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I'll point out is that there's going to be Champions League fixtures, I think, this week, if I'm right.
Yeah, probably.
So that's going to affect a lot of teams and fitness and that sort of stuff. So what I would advise people to do is not to really make any transfers until after those games, because you'll kind of know where people's form is at.
Yeah, well, look at you picking up all the FPL tips.
Yes, indeed. Make enough mistakes, and you see what to do.
Okay, so I'm going to get us kicked off here. I don't see Brighton keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was never a fan of the sacking of Chris Hughton. I don't like how they did him. And so a part of me does want that guy. Is it Graham Potter? That's it. A part of me does want him. Well, okay, I don't want him to fail, but I can't help feeling that he's overrated. So we'll see what happens there. But Kane will probably score. I just have to admit that he's got a goal in him, but he's not quite as explosive as we'd like him to be.
Yeah.
Liverpool v Leicester. I can't call that one actually because Leicester,
It's going to be a goals affair.
I think Liverpool grind it out and win. It's going to be a messy win, but they'll win.
Okay.
So I believe.
Don't forget, Vardy is quite comfortable against big teams, and that's where he's at his best. Yeah. And Vardy is going to be pressing Adrian. Tell me what you think is going to happen there.
Alisson. That's all I used to say. Alisson's a full training.
Yeah, but he's not. Apparently, he's not going to be back until after the next international break. So you've got Adrian for another week or so.
Adrian has been improving game by game. The more games he's had a run out, I've noticed that he's actually got better. So
Jamie Vardy is going to be pressing Adrian. Tell the truth. What's going to happen? Tell the truth.
It'll be okay.
All right then.
You might get
all right. Man United and Newcastle.
Yeah. Oh, Newcastle away. It's Newcastle at home.
They're at St James's Park.
That's going to be a draw.
Okay.
Wow.
A goalless draw, in my opinion.
Wow. What can I say? It would not surprise me.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with that.
Okay, the new Barcelona, aka Chelsea, and Southampton.
I didn't see that going one way. I'll be honest with you. Chelsea.
Yeah.
I see Messi scoring.
Messi, yeah. Man City, are they going to dispose of Wolves?
Yeah,
Yes.
it will.
Yeah. Because Wolves is going to have
the stakes at this moment in time. They cannot lose a game.
Wolves have got a Europa League, and Pep has got 5 points to make up. He's just going to be relentless.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then Arsenal v Bournemouth. You've got Aubameyang, haven't you, James?
Yeah.
Actually, you've also got Callum Wilson.
Yeah. Wilson and Aubameyang both scoring.
Both of them.
Yeah, in my opinion.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I think one of them won't score. I think it's kind of risks. That's why my captain next week is definitely going to be Aubameyang, because I think Aubameyang is definitely going to be the one to score. But Wilson,
actually, that's not a bad shout actually, because I don't think Aubameyang's only had a couple of games where he's not returned, has he?
Where he's not. You said
not returned.
Ever since I bought Aubameyang, he's scored in every single game. Every game. He's kept me up there. Without him, I don't know. Literally, he's that good. Yeah. It's just almost like you're guaranteed a goal every game.
All right. So what we're going to do is that all the games?
That's the big ones. To be honest, I don't think we really need to talk anymore. We've already been on for 45 minutes.
Yeah, we have actually. Yeah, we've gone on.
Yeah.
All right. Can I just wrap it up by saying 3 players must-haves for next week?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Because he's a striker. He plays in a relatively good team. And if they're going to score goals, it's going to be him.
Yeah.
The next one, I'm still going to go with Son. Even though he didn't score this weekend, I still think he's a forward. Again, he's playing for a good team, and he's part of the attack. Something's happening with Eriksen. I don't know what, but
there's some rumours going around. We'll talk about it afterwards anyway. I can't say it then.
And then last of all, that's it. You know, I can never manage more than 2, so I'm going to hand over.
All right, cool. James?
I'll say you should give it a try on Pookie, because they're playing against Aston Villa. And it won't be too expensive. It'll be all right. The other one I would say, West Ham against Crystal Palace. I think that game, it'll be interesting to see who comes off. I think Jordan Ayew might get a goal in there. You know, you might try get who's that guy? Haller, give him a go. And the last person I'll put in there is Sterling, because I think Sterling will definitely score against Wolves.
Okay.
Oh, good shout. So my first choice is definitely Son.
Yeah.
Was unlucky to come off against who they played.
Yeah,
exactly. Saints. So I think give him another shot. He's definitely got an expensive game coming up for him. Second player is Tammy. He needs revenge. He hit the post in his last game. He definitely should have scored.
He had a 1-on-1 as well. Very unlucky not to score. Yeah.
I think he's going to do well against Southampton, so that's going to be one to look forward to. And my final player, I think I'm going to go for Lundstrom.
He's got the whipping boys.
Yep, they got the whipping boys. He's going to have a field day with Watford.
Yeah.
Watford. Jeez.
Watford, man. Watford.
It's terrible.
Oh, it's so sad. Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't really care. All right, then. So thanks again, guys, for taking the time out to do the podcast. I really appreciate it. Hope everyone who's been listening has enjoyed it. And so hopefully you tune in next time. And that's a goodbye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.